Hey everyone, welcome to this live stream. And today I will be continuing my work on the Explode app. So this is the app itself. So it's a desktop application that lets you manage your package JSON visually, basically. So you'll be able to see all of your packages that are installed, whichever the current version is, you'll be able to see those. And the idea is to be able to install the packages from right here, right? So you'll be able to install your packages from this model itself. So there'll be a list that's something that we'll be building today. So there'll be a list or a drop down of different versions that a particular package has. For example, this package has, and you as a user will be able to select a different version and then click on install, and you'll be able to install that package right from here, right? So that's something that we're trying to do today. So first of all, to add the select drop down, so selecting the version, right? And second is to be able to install those from the model itself, right? So let's begin with that. So we'll start work on the drop down first. So to do that, let's look for a package that lets us handle selects drop downs. Yes. I think we can use this one. We don't want it to be clearable. It is going to be searchable. Loading isn't necessarily required. Okay. Let's see its code, and let's install React Select. that we have it installed, let's just quickly add it to our API and we need the select. Value and label. Okay. The options will be see, so we need it to be in value and label. So both value and label are going to be the same thing. So let's do details.versions and .map. Cannot read property map of undefined. Okay. Let's. Okay, this is fine. We just need to change the stylings and everything. Before that, let's quickly get the heading and say versions like that. right? We need to change the height of this. Let's change the styling a little. In this content, so we have the width. Let's make the height 100%. Yeah, 100% is fine. And let's make the inset 0. And width should be 100%. So, and this means let's make the right 0. It aligns itself to the right side. So inset let's make it like let's do instead left unset and right 0. Yeah, and let's top 0. Yeah, and on mobile it's fine as it is. See, now we need to do some styling because since our application is in dark mode, that's why. So it's happening because of this. That's why it's white. Let's check out the documentation regarding styles, custom styles. Input, placeholder value, option, color. You need this styles. Is there another way of doing it? overriding the theme. Let's see. Is it open by default? Let's check the icon color, which is not showing up because of the same reasons. Let's see how we can change the components, drop down indicator, down chevron. How do you do change? Oh wait, let's see if we have the options available in the styles object. Drop down indicator, right? Let's see. But using class name overriding the theme. Is there a styles? Menu is open. On focus, close, components, delimiter. Yeah, this is the one I'm looking for. Let's I should be able to get styles from this as well. So display and color. Let's change the styles color to, let's make it black for now, and we should be fine. If it won't. Okay, yeah, but that didn't work. Is it even there? Let's see. So there's this drop down. It doesn't say. It doesn't say. Advanced sortable multi-select. Nope. Placing built-in internals, components. So I want, how do I? Okay. So I guess we can do wait, let me install that. select. No types. Add type / react - select. Let's see. So now that we have the types installed, let's see if we get auto completion. Components, yeah. So we need just a second. I guess we have to restart. Let's return. I'll just return this for now and read the props that we get. Okay, something messed up with the packages, so I have to reinstall all the packages again, and could take a while. Okay, let's go over here. So this is something that we get from this, right? And let's create a button. What happened to autocomplete? And let's get some icons. Copy this. Wait, which one did we copy? Down. So the props gives us let's see, so we have get value, has value, is disabled, is focused, set value. I was expecting active, inactive, like is open, is closed. Is focus true? Is focus false? Okay, I think we can use this focused. If it is true, then we can use icon dot up. Otherwise, we use this. Let's get up icon as well. Save. Oh, I forgot to export. Let's okay. Right. Text white. What else? BR. Yellow 300. Let's do that. And that cross should be text white. Right, so this is working now. Let's do TW W8 and flex item, enter, justify, enter. Yeah. Okay, so that's not going to work. We need a different value. For example, is focus isn't going to work. Yeah, that's not going to work. First of all, but before that, let's is missing a definition. Drop down indicator and let's not fine. Okay. That's fine now. And here let's also reduce the size to 20. Yeah, and we need a different value. Let's see. So this has value is essentially because I think this is this one. So we get the options in there too. Nice. What I'm looking for is a boolean that would let me know if the drop down is open. So let's see something, try something out. So right now it gives me has value false because there's no value, and it's not enabled also. So when it has a focus, where is it? It's focused. Okay. So we can check based on two things has value also. So we can do probably like whatever here. Oh. So we can use has value as well. For example, has value. So if has value is false, right? If has value is false and is focus is true, then only should show up. So right now it doesn't have a value. Yeah, well, it doesn't really depend on has. Yeah, I think it's fine. If it's focused, we can show it that open. So they can select it like this, right? Now so when you click on the edit button for any package, for example this, it passes this to the input. So we can do is pass the package version as well, like the whole package thing. So both of these, if for example this, so if we pass this it's not a string anymore. It will be an object where name is string and version is string, and this will be an object, right? So here what I can do instead now is if has name, then I pass a name to it, right? And this will be this. Now like that. Now that if I have that value, for example, now I know like which package is the selected package. Now I can pass that value. I can say installed version, I just installed, and pass selected package dot version, and I should probably have like this, and I can also do this, that way I won't have to do this. And the package prop, not in this, but package details. Now in the package details prop, I can say installed is going to be a string. Right? And with that, I know which version is installed now, so I can say default value, input value is going to be equals to installed, and I can get it from here, right? So now if I go back to this, I should see I think I need to check if there's a name. Right, now let's see if I click on this, goes to loading. Actually it does this. And I should probably omit that, so I can do replace, and I can replace if it is there with empty. Let's close this, open it again, so it shows it like this. Okay, that's not what I was thinking. So what I want to do is to be able to show that this version is selected. Then if I do the drop down, it should show that as highlighted, but not hide the others. Let's see in the props and select props. I want to see the default default is loading. Default input value, default value. Okay, so it's default value, not default. So I should probably do, it's not the input that I want to change, it's one that I want to change, and it should be something like value is this, and then the label is also this, right? And let's see. So we go to this, it shows 2.7.0 and it shows that as active already because it is selected, but it's not input value, right? So it doesn't hide the other options. Now I can select a different version, and now that it's selected, I can now, if alright, so if the selected option is different than the installed option, I want to show a button. So let's see how I can get the value. So it does get value, so there should be on value change or something. On change, on menu open, let's see on change. But do we get on change? On change, not on input change. Let's I'll see what do we get in the response. So let's change the version to this. We get, oh, we just get that. Yeah, it's fine. So we need the value, for example. So we can say in here, come in here and say selected version. Basically that. So in this point, I can just do set selected version to props dot value, right? Or we can just get value from this and do this. Now we know, like, whenever there is a selected version, we can check if it is same as the installed one, and if it is not, we can then show a button right below it. Update to selected version. So if there's a selected version and selected version is not equal to this, we want to show this button that says update to this version, right? So if I change a version, I get this button now. Let's just quickly start that. Shade, rounded, between 800. And this can go to let's make it H10. Yeah. Right. What if it did actually make it that and then do point? Yeah, this is fine. So this is how it will appear. So you go to, let's pick this one, and I click on this. I get to see different versions. React has a lot of different versions. And let's see, yeah, 17.2 is where we are at. Let's do this, and now we see update, right? So if it's, let's switch back to the version that we had. That is 17.2 something. So 17.0.2. Yeah, so if we select the version that we already have installed, so it's going to just, let's do 15 and like this, and we get the button. Let's add a margin top of 2. Right. Now with this, now that we have the button, we can finally look. Now what we have to do is essentially this. So we know that this packagation belongs to, is in the folder, is in essentially, where is it? Yeah, so it's in this folder, right? So we know the location of it. So we know the location of it. Actually, let's just get the folder name, and this one we can figure it out. In here, yeah, let's do that instead. So let's see, and we are at 2.6 like this, and we can see the button. Now what we need to do, since we already know the location where this project is, so right now it just straight up shows the list of dependencies, but later on the user will have an option to select the folder before they, so when they open this application, they'll be able to select a folder. So that'll essentially say like, let me know which project you want to work with, right? So the user is going to select a project, and that with that I'll get a folder path. Now with that folder path will be passed into this. That's how I'm getting the list of dependencies, because I know like in that folder there would be a package.json file, and from that I'm getting the package.json file. So right now I've just hard-coded it for the time being. Now from the same path, at the same path, whenever the user clicks on this button and they want to update to a different version, I'll use the same path and change the working directory to this path in Node.js, of course. In Node.js, I'll change the working directory to this path, and I'll be essentially doing like npm install twin.macro @ 2.6.2 or something. Like I'll be doing something like that, right? And or if it's an npm project, if it's using npm, I'll be doing npm install instead, right? So there are a couple of things that we need to figure out, right? So what we can do is, with the user clicks, first of all we need to know if it's npm, the package is installed via npm, or if they are installed via yarn, right? That way we can run appropriate command, whether we want to run yarn or whether we want to run npm. So the command we'll essentially be building is something going to look like something like this, like cd into this absolute folder part to the folder, right? And then do npm install, essentially this. If it's in project is using npm, we'll be doing npm install, and then we'll also check if it's a dev dependency or not. So if it's a dev dependency, we'll be adding this -c dev or just -d, right? And then the package that they have to pass, so for example print macro @ the version that the user selected. So this is something that we're going to build. We know the path to that folder. We will know if it's a npm or yarn based project, and then we'll know like if it's a, then we'll have to figure out if it's a dependency or a dev dependency, and then we already have the package and the version that you use selected. Right now, let's see. Now we need to create a function. Now before we go to that, let's just put it on hold right now, and let's go to packages. Let's create a one called install.tsx, right? And it's going to get so it'll be a post request, of course, right? And so here's what I'll be expecting from it. So from the body, I'll be expecting first of all the package. Let's do something like this. I'll be expecting the package that the user wants to install. That will be, let's say, name. Would be, for example, there would be a name, there would be a version they want to install, there would be whether it's a dev dependency or not is and whatever. Let's do false. The path to the folder structure, the path to the folder, right? So these four things we'll be needing, and whether it's npm project or a yarn project, we can figure out from the path itself based on whether that project has yarn.log or not. If it has yarn.log, that means it's a yarn project, right? Now that we have this, so the steps are essentially like this. Based on these values, I'll be generating a so there'll be a boolean, let's say that is yarn project. So I'll say by default, let's make it false. And if it is okay, let's see what it completes. Is yarn project, if exists, read file saying package on JSON dependencies. Is yarn project true? Okay, and name version path is yarn project yarn npm add version execute. Nice. Okay, so they're essentially just okay, so this is GitHub Copilot that I've got access to. It's in beta right now. So what it essentially does, it does auto completion based on the existing code that you have in the whole GitHub source code and all the repository. It takes it learns about your code, whatever I'm writing here, and based on that it suggests solutions. So somebody must have done this exact same thing that I'm doing, right? And this is pretty much what we wanted to do. So essentially we have a command that we are going to build based on these different things, right? We have a working directory that we want to change, that is this path, right? and then we do want to execute this command at this location. So essentially this is what we will be doing. So let's just take this. So we'll be to do this or anything. Let's just take this one, paste it here, and the exec command. Let's see other solutions. Yeah, see this? So essentially this. So if it is, if I go to this path, first of all, before we do anything, we should check this path, if this path exists or not. So if it's sync this path, if it doesn't exist, or yeah, let's go import fs from fs, right? And if so, we check if the path exists or not. If it doesn't exist, we'll just let them know, like res dot status, essentially this, right? And rest we have, so we make the yarn project true if that path slash yarn.log file exists, essentially that. The exec, I think, comes from child process, right? Now from this, now we need to know, so if it's a yarn project, for example, there's a bit difference, as in let's do it like this. Let's create a command that will be empty by default, right? And I hope it's not reserved. Yeah, it is reserved. Let's make it cmd, for example. So if it is a yarn project, we want to do cmd plus equals yarn install, right? Else we want to do cmd plus equals to npm install, right? And then if it's a essentially this. If it is a dev dependency, then we want to do cmd plus equals to -- save dev, essentially that, right? Else I mean, that's pretty much it. So if it is a dev dependency, then we do this, right? We add a -- save dev, so that right, and then the name and version comes like that. So now we can essentially do this, and we can replace it with this. We don't need a space, it's already there, so we can just do this, right? We can just, yeah, let's do it here. So name and version comes from this. We've already checked on the path. We use the exec command, pass in our command, and pass in a path where we want to execute it. Then we have the output. Then we use, let's make it async. It is async, and we are outputting whatever they install. So whenever you install a package, you get a bunch of consoles, bunch of consoles that says installing this, installing peer dependencies and all, right? Warnings and everything. So this is what we get in the child std out, right? So if there's the output will be sent via this, and the errors will be sent via this. Now that we have this, let's send data to the output. So if it is installed, let's just send data back to it, and we'll use let's open up our HTTP client. So I'm using Insomnia to make HTTP calls, and the call I'll be making to is HTTP localhost 808888 and API slash packages slash install, right? And it's a post request. The body is a JSON that will have a name. Say let's look for a different repository. I don't want to change the packaging in this one. Let's see. So this project I can use, and let's take this. So let's do this one. I'll take the path. So the name is a twin macro, right? And the version will be, let's see what version does it have right now. So it has 2.3.0 and the version we can do is 2.7.0 that our project right now has. We have 2.7.0. So let's do that. 0.7.0 and the path would be this. Right, and then we want to say is the dependency dependency, is it right? Is, yes it is, right? Do we need anything else? So we have name, version, path, and is def dependency, right? So it is a def dependency. I think this is fine. Now what we can do, so we are expecting the install output logs in response, right? Be it the error ones or success ones. So let's try this. So success is false for some reason and we don't know. Let's console the errors. Let's check out. We get a false package and no warning packages and no license field. Did we get this? So we got this, which is a warning, and it shouldn't have sent it out like that. Oh yeah. Okay. So in case of yard packages, it's not install, it's add. That's where it was confused. Got stuck. Missing list of packages to add to your project. Why does it say that? We have the name and the version. Missing list of packages to add to your project. it says that missing list of packages to add to your project. Now let's just quickly console this command and we'll see. And this looks fine. Yarn add -hyphen save dev twin macro at 2.1.0. This is what we wanted. So we have the correct command, so why is it saying missing list of packages to add? Oh yeah, okay, it failed here as well. What is the missing? Should I be doing -d? Yeah, I should be doing -d instead. Let's do -d. Maybe it doesn't understand. Right, let's try now. I mean, this is fine, it's returned success, but it's actually running error. Because when I'm streaming, so it doesn't wait for it. It essentially bypasses this, right? So it's while it's waiting for it, it waited for a while, but it didn't work out, so it just returned an error. So it's I think it's returning error on warning. So as soon as the first warning came in, that is this one, wait, I think it's this one. So as soon as that came in, it rejected it is installing. It's just that the package. So let's go and see what version do we have. 2.7.0. So it did work. So the package is updated, right? Now what we need to do is that this one rejected as soon as that happens, and since it's a wait, reject directly goes into this, and that's why it returns the error. Now we need to ignore if it is the package has been installed, so that's fine. Now we need to figure out a way let's not do this at all, like let's not reject it, but let's there's one called close that we just saw in the examples, and that says on close should do this and should probably get rid of this. Now let's do output, right, and do this, and when it closes, let's try passing that first and we'll see. So let's try installing a different version, 3 if that exists. Zero we get, oh wait, damn that's not what we wanted. Let's have the output here instead. It must have, yeah, let's make it to 2.7 again and see. Yeah, so we get this as log, which is something that we wanted. So I think our API is working, the endpoint is working, so the packages and everything are installing, right? And what we can do now, this point is, I think that is pretty much it. Don't really need this. We are stalling it to wait for it to close. And now whether it closes because of an error or the installation completes, both of which are fine, because that's something that we, and the output that we get, we are going to console that back to the users. We will be consoling that right here, right? So right now I'm just going to let them like wait till it resolves to the API endpoint. API request resolves. Hey peace. Welcome to the stream. Right. So right now I'm just going to send the whole output, but later on what we'll do is we'll stream the content, as in, so with each output we'll be putting it here one by one, as you would see in a terminal, come one by one. So we'll do that later, but right now we'll just output the whole thing after the API request resolves. Right, let's see. So this is what we did. So we created an endpoint that essentially takes name, path, version is dev dependency. First of all, checks whether the project at that path exists or not, right? Secondly, it checks whether the project is built with yarn or npm. Now based on that, I'm doing yarn add or npm install. Then we check if the package is a dependency or not. So for example, this twin macro is a dev dependency, right? So we say -d. If it isn't, it's going to by default install. Let's not rely on that and do cmd plus that essentially. So it's going to install as a dependency instead. If it is not, then we essentially build the command. With this, we'll have, if it's a yarn project, yarn add -d. If it's a dependency, then that essentially comes here. Yarn add -d, then the name of the package, which was twin.macro, and the version 2.7.0 or anything. And then we use this exec function that comes from the child process, which is native to the node environment, right? And we use that to execute a command at this path that the user passed to the project, right? And then we just basically push in the output into the output variable, and then we just basically resolve it, send the response, and send it as a response back to the front end or back to the user. With this, I think what we need to do next is, now that we have that, we can create a function that essentially does update. Yeah, we can do update function, and console.log failed to install the package version, or failed to install the, or update the version, update the package. right? Now it's not that, it's packages slash installed. So selected version, that's fine. Details.name, that's fine. We need a path. So now what I'll do is I'll go back here and say const path and now that we have the path, we can straight up pass it and like this. And we needed to know if it is a dependency or dependency. So in the details, we can pass it right away. Like at this point, we know that there's a sorry about that. So if it is a dependency, we can know because based on we have the list of packages that comes from file dot this. So we can say if file dot yeah, essentially this. So if a dependency has that package name, a value with that package name, then yeah, that. So if it does have it, it's a dependency, otherwise it's not. And I did this so that we this is just a fallback optional value. So it's a fallback if this doesn't work out. For example, if it crashes or something, it's going to return false. If it returns undefined or something like that, right? So with this we have the boolean value for that as well, which we'll need to pass package details state. Into this, it's going to be boolean. Now from the details we can pass that. Like that. We're not actually using this SS, that's why. If the status is equal to 200, that's something that we'll use. The status is 200, then we'll check if the data is success. And if it is, let's create a logs state. Right, and set the logs to data.data. Yeah, that's that. And let's do this. That now we have to do is just add a on click here, and do this, right? But so this path that I have passed here is essentially the path to this project itself. So we'll just change it to tags, and we get the twin macro is at 2.7. Let's bring it down to 2.4.2. We have the package.json, that package.json open, so this should be 2.4.0. Also, let's console the logs, not console but show the logs here as well. Right, and on change, I would also want to empty out the inputs like this. Let's try that now. So let's see. Open this. Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, we have it installed. So if I go to package.json, it's 2.4.2 now. We have the logs and everything. Let's style this as a bit. So let's make it text white. And let's add empty margin at the top and make the overflow auto, X auto, and make the width full. Yeah, that's fine, right? With that looks good. Now what we want is, another thing is, we need to have log a heading that is logs, if any. So if there are logs, it's going to just say, let's move this in here. That we get logs, not MB2, MB3, and MB3, and this can be empty. Right. Wait, what happened to the, okay, yeah, makes sense. We need an empty 2. Yeah. Let's do my2 and get rid of this. MB2. Another thing is that we need to make this button disabled until this whole thing finishes off, essentially. So we can say const installing set installing. So it'll be, so at this point is going to be true, and here is going to be false, here is going to be false as well, right? And yeah, if I throw it, it's going to come here anyway. So while it's installing, I should make it disabled. The button should be disabled. Do we have a disabled utility? Nice. Let's try that. So if on disable I wanted to bg gray, let's make it $600 and text to be black. And when it will be disabled, it will be disabled if it is installing. Let's see. So let's refresh. Let's go back to this. Wait, why is it showing? Oh, wait, it should be an array, not that. So I change it to 2.7. I do this, it gets disabled, and then after a while it shows the logs that the package has been installed and everything. Right now, other thing we can do is say if it is installing, then say, instead of saying this, say updating to this version. So I can select a different version and say it's updating to version 2.6.2, and there we go, and the package is installed. Right. With this, I think we're set for today. We wanted to first of all list all the different versions that a particular package has, which is this essentially. So it did that. And second thing we want to do is we want to be able to install the package as well after they have changed to one certain one. So this is what it does. So I think we have implemented both of the features that we set out to build today in today's live stream. And with this, I think we can conclude our work. And right now, this is all I had thought of it, like what we wanted this app to have at the first, in essentially the first version. I think the next thing to do is to be able to select a different project, switch to project and everything. And so that's something that we'll be doing. So this was the core thing that I wanted the user to be able to do, is to install a different version, right? Now other thing that I'd be doing in the next stream would just be making user friendly, as in they can choose a project, right? They can switch to a project and everything. So basically all that. All right. I think let's conclude today's live stream with this, and let's commit our work. So we built this endpoint. And we moved the packages and text to there. we added React Select to list our versions of the packages. Okay, globals. Let's get rid of this. Packages and that's fine. Let's move ahead and feed install packages. And we can push this. Now before we push that, let's release the first version. And it's going to be version 1.5. Let's make it 5. I made it 5 because it's a huge change, right? And let's do that and push. Right, with this pushed and everything, let's close the stream for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.